My name is Fátima. I am the City of Tucson's Chief Resilience Officer. And in my role, I'm mostly in charge of implementing the city's climate action plan. And so I work across city departments to do that, and also with community members. So Tucson is one of the fastest warming cities in the nation. In 2020, we were the third fastest warming city in the entire nation. And so because of that, the mayor and council declared a climate emergency. And so Tucson is at the forefront of many climate issues, including like drought and extreme heat and even flooding issues, right? The way that nature relates to my work is in multiple ways. We do look at how we can become adaptive to a changing climate, but also how we can reduce our impact on heat trapping emissions, right? And so you do need multiple solutions. You can't say, oh, this one thing is going to solve the issue. And so nature-based solutions play a critical role. We have to learn from historical past mistakes to ensure that moving forward, we can create a city that not only we can thrive for this generation, but also the next 7 generations. And so the city has done a really good job in emphasizing that, like, you know, centralizing our issues that we face, and then acting on them. So right now there is initiatives to develop new building codes, right? So that we have desert adapted codes that are very specific to our natural environment, ensuring that new buildings are created in a way that are energy efficient, but also respond to our natural environment. That we are, one of the very few cities that has fair food transit, and using that as a strategy for inciting more public transit ridership. And we know that the transportation sector represents one of the biggest chunks of the pie when it comes to greenhouse emissions. So you cannot wait for your bus in 110-degree weather for more than like 10 minutes. Like, it could be fatal. And so these issues are not just about like, oh, trees are beautiful and they attract wildlife, but also trees can save life, or shade can save lives, right? And so it is a matter of protecting residents, and mayor and council have that very front and center, and that's why, one, they declare a climate emergency, but two, they created a climate action plan that has 122 actions to not only like mitigate the impacts of climate change, but also help us residents adapt to them. It's amazing what can happen when you transform a dirt, empty space into a natural space with trees, with pollinator gardens, with features of green stormwater infrastructure diverting the water from the streets into these spaces. It's amazing what can happen when you just transform the landscape a little bit back to how the natural ecosystem used to be, and then add water. That in itself is a recipe for attracting wildlife. I would love to see the future of Tucson as a city is a place where you can walk to buy your groceries, where you can wait for the bus and take public transit and be in a beautiful shaded space that is safe, where you have green corridors for people that are biking, for people that are walking, for people that, like me, that just like enjoyed and get a kick of just looking at nature and different plants and biodiversity. So I would say just like a network of green spaces throughout the city where it's safe to walk, where it's safe to wait for the bus, where it's safe for wildlife to have habitat. So my mom, she loves gardens. In Mexico, her house is this small and her garden is like 10 times as big. And granted, like it's adjacent to the natural river, so anything that if you drop a seed of anything, it will grow. So it's very easy to have a beautiful garden. But she also, from a very young age, will like take the time to stop what she was doing and like point out an ant or point out like a bird. Like, you know, my dopamine levels increase when I see plants and flowers and like the interaction of insects, and so it's very, I guess, an inner child kind of thing. My mom, she, not in like an exploring way, like let's explore what they do, but it was more like let's appreciate what they do and their part that like bees play into like a whole ecosystem, and they're so tiny. And so the one thing that she would say, like, they're so tiny, they have a huge impact in our entire ecosystem. Imagine the impact that we can have as humans.